Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel Legal Decipher. In the previous video, we had discussed about Chapter 8 of the Indian Penal Code 1860. If you have not seen that video, you can go and check it. The link is in the description below. In today's video, we are going to discuss about Chapter 9 of the Indian Penal Code. We'll go through the chapter and try to understand the substance therein. So if you're new here, please like and subscribe to my channel so you can get the video notifications. So let's get started. So today we are going to talk about chapter 9 of the Indian Penal Code. It deals with offenses by or relating to public servants. So this chapter relates to offenses by public servants or offenses where public servants are involved. Now this is a small chapter because it has only 8 sections in it, and this chapter is also not very important regarding any competitive exam. You can probably get 1 or 2 objective type questions at max. Also, a number of sections have been repealed from this chapter, as you can see here. These sections were repealed after the enactment of the Prevention of Corruption Act of 1988. Presently, the offences that were mentioned in these sections are dealt with under the said act. So the sections 161 to 165A of the IPC stands repealed. So let's directly move on to section 166 that talks about public servant disobeying law with intent to cause injury to any person. So whoever being a public servant knowingly disobeys any direction of the law. So the public servant was under the direction to obey a certain law and he chooses to disobey it knowingly. So in that case, if he intends to cause or knows that it will likely cause disobedience, so if he directly disobeys such direction of law and causes injury to any person due to such disobedience, then he shall be punished with simple imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year, or with fine, or with both. Now section 166A talks about public servant disobeying direction under law. So whoever being a public servant knowingly disobeys any direction of the law that prohibits him from requiring the attendance at any place of any person for the purpose of investigation into an offense or any other matter. So if he knowingly disobeys any direction of the law, and due to such disobedience he was prohibited from attending any place or any person for the purpose of an investigation into an offense or any other matter, or if he knowingly disobeys to the prejudice of any person, so his disobedience caused prejudice to any person, any other direction of law regulating the manner in which he shall conduct such investigation, or if he fails to record any information given to him under subsection 1 of section 154 of the CRPC in relation to cognizable offences punishable under these sections, then in all of these cases he shall be punished with rigorous imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 6 months but which may extend to 2 years, and shall also be liable to fine. Now section 166B talks about punishment for non-treatment of victim. So whoever is acting in charge of a hospital, public or private, so that hospital may be public or private, but he was in charge of that hospital, and whether it was run by the central government or the state government or the local bodies or any other person, it doesn't matter. If that person who is in charge contravenes the provisions of section 357C of the CRPC, then he shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year, or with fine, or with both. Now section 167 talks about public servant framing an incorrect document with intent to cause injury. So first of all, that person is a public servant and he was in charge with the preparation or translation of any document or electronic record, and he frames, prepares or translates the document or electronic record in a manner which he knows or believes to be incorrect. So he knew the fact that it was incorrect, still he did it, intending thereby to cause, or that he knew that it will likely cause injury to any person. So due to such incorrect framing, preparing, recording or translating of such document or electronic record, an innocent person has suffered injury, then this public servant shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years, or with fine, or with both. Now section 168 talks about public servant unlawfully engaging in trade. So once you are a public servant, you cannot engage in trade. If such public servant is being legally bound as to not to engage in trade, and still if he engages in trade, then shall be punished with simple imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year, or with fine, or with both. Section 169 talks about public servant unlawfully buying or bidding for property. So once you are a public servant, you cannot unlawfully buy or bid a property, and whoever does so, either in his own name or in the name of another, or jointly or in share, so doesn't matter the method of buying or bidding of such property, if that public servant is involved in it by any remote or extreme possibility, then he shall be punished with simple imprisonment for a term which may extend 2 years, or with fine, or with both, and the property, if purchased, shall be confiscated. Now, section 170 talks about personating a public servant. It says that whoever pretends to hold any particular office as a public servant. So we are not talking about an actual public servant, we are talking about a general person who pretends that he is a public servant and he holds any particular office that was supposed to be held by any actual public servant. So this person is an impersonator, and he knows that he does not hold such office, or falsely personates any other person holding such office. So he knows the fact that what he is doing, and in such assumed character he does or attempts to do any act under the color of such office, whatever may be that act, he shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years, or with fine, or with both. Let's move on to the last section of this chapter, that is section 171, which talks about wearing garb or carrying token used by public servant with fraudulent intent. So whoever not belonging to a certain class of public servant wears any garb or carries any token that resembles any of such garb or token that was actually used by those class of public servants. So just like we have read in the previous chapter, a wearing of a garb or carrying a token that was used by the armed personals, the same can happen in this case, where a public servant who has to wear any garb or has to carry any token, and any such person who is not such a public servant wears any garb or carries any token that resembles to that garb or token that was used by that class of public servants, with the intention that it may be believed, or if he has the knowledge that it may likely make people believe that he belongs to that class of public servant due to such wearing of that garb or carrying of any such token that resembles to that garb or token used by that class of public servants. So if that person is using it with fraudulent intent, then he shall be punished with imprisonment for either description for a term which may extend to 3 months, or with fine, or with fine which may extend to 200 rupees, or with both.
So that's all in this video. If you like my videos, then don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.